Nikki, and today I am going to finish talking about part 2 of my oil talk. So, right now I'm going to talk about castor oil. Now, I'm not talking about black castor oil, I'm talking about castor oil. There is a difference to me, and if you want to, I can put a video up about the difference between black castor oil and just regular clear castor oil. Okay, castor oil. It has 86 to 90% of triglycerides. It has only 7% of monosaturated lipids, so not that much fat, not much at all. Does it penetrate with heat? It's unknown. It's unknown. It depends. See, with my hair, coconut oil penetrates way better than black castor oil. And I think it's because it doesn't have a lot of fat, but it has a lot of triglycerides. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you can, I actually can tell the difference between coconut and castor oil. I'll do a separate video on that with my hair if y'all want to know. It has 7% of non-saturated lipids. And if it sounds like I have a little bit of a lisp, I have my retainers in and it's killing me to have these in right now. Like literally killing me. Okay, the next oil that I'm going to talk about is the famous olive oil that I see a lot of people on the YT talk about that moisturizes their hair. 95% of it is good. Like it helps to penetrate. The lipids are less than 18 carbons long. So, does it penetrate under the cuticle? From my research, some of it does, but a very, very small amount. Very, very small amount. Does it has triglycerides? No. There's no triglycerides in olive oil. But it has 65 to 85% of monosaturated lipids. So it might do for your hair. You get what I'm saying? Does it improve with heat? And it's possible. It's possible that it can. But like I said before, it's based off your hair and how it likes it. So, next oil that I'm talking about is the avocado oil. Avocado oil, yes, it has triglycerides. The amount of triglycerides, it varies from 30% to about 50%. It has 55 to 75% of monosaturated lipids. And only the percentage that I'm talking about, it depends on what type, how much grade is the avocado oil. Like, you have some avocado oils that are not organic, that are mixed with certain type of oils and added stuff. So it just depends where you get your source from. And with avocado oil, it is possible to penetrate more with heat. The next type of oil is corn oil. It has 12% of triglycerides. It's only 19 to 48% monosaturated lipids. And it is possible to improve with heat. Now, the order that I'm giving it to you is from greatest to least. So remember that, you guys. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is canola oil. Yes, what we cook with, right? Awesome. Canola oil. It doesn't have any triglycerides, but it does have 60% of monosaturated lipids, which is good. Now, does it improve with heat? It is unknown. Now, from here on down, it's all unknown. It just depends on your hair type. Okay, so the next oil is mustard seed oil. I haven't heard of that. I hear many people talk about that. Does it have any triglycerides? No. Does it have monosaturated lipids? Yes, it has 66% of monosaturated lipids. The next oil that I'm talking about is sweet almond oil, which I see a lot of people use, and especially naturals, like loose naturals. I see a lot of people talk about that. So with that, it has no triglycerides, but it has 70% of monosaturated lipids. And some of these have polar triglycerides, but I can get into that. I didn't know if you guys wanted me to get so in depth when it comes to like the chemical part of oils. So I'm just telling you to where you can understand, because the most important part is if the oil has triglycerides and lipids. Monosaturated lipids is the best. So I'm just giving you how it is. The next oil is apricot kernel oil. And this has 70, did I miss one? Oh, this has 73% of monosaturated lipids, but it has no triglycerides. The next oil is argan oil. And it seems like the lower I get, the better it is to get through the first layer, because your hair has layers. So it's not going to completely penetrate through. Do you get what I'm saying? So it'll just get either to the first layer or like the second, maybe second layer, but we're talking about mostly like a sealant now. Do you get what I'm saying? So a lot of people talk about argan oil and that it actually penetrates the hair. Now, argan oil does have 73% of non-saturated lipids. So it penetrates probably the first or second layer, but not all the way through. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah. So the next oil that I'm talking about is sesame seed oil. It has no triglycerides, but it has 40 to 50% of non-saturated lipids. The next oil is shea butter. It has no triglycerides, but it only has, oh, no, the next one is shea butter. And yes, it does have triglycerides. Yes, it does. The percentage of it depends on if it's unrefined. It depends. So yeah, I can't break that down. I cannot. It depends on what type you get, the unrefined, refined. It just depends. Because it comes in so many type of ways. You get what I'm saying? So, but it does have 50% of monosaturated lipids. The next one is peanut oil. Peanut oil has no triglycerides, but it has 55% of monosaturated lipids. Now we're getting to where it's more of a sealant, like seriously a sealant. The next one is cocoon butter. Cocoon butter. I'm butchering that. Cocoon butter. Okay, it has no triglycerides, but it has 38 to 41% of lipids. The next one is grapeseed oil. It has no triglycerides. But with grapeseed oil, it only has 12 to 25% of lipids. Hip rose oil. See, like these oils that I'm talking about now will penetrate straight hair than like the straighter texture hair. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say that it doesn't really penetrate. If you have locks and your hair is more of not kinky, coily, or curly, if it's more wavy texture with a really loose spiral or something like that, or even straight, this will probably really penetrate your hair. So I cannot say that it won't penetrate all hair types. It will, but the more tighter, kinky, curly, type hair texture, it's more of a sealant compared to the straighter, wavier, you know what I mean, spirally type hair. Yeah. So what was I on? Okay, rose hemp oil. It has no triglycerides, but it only has 15% of monosaturated lipids. Hemp seed oil. It has only 12% of monosaturated lipids and no triglycerides. Flaxseed oil. Now I see somebody I see a lot of girls do the flaxseed oil on natural hair, and it helps with the shininess and everything like that. It's really good when it comes to shine. Now I must say that. Like I've seen like natural girls that use the flaxseed oil or the flexi gel and do a braid out or a twist out, and it's really shiny afterwards. So it's really good with being a sealant. Seriously good for being a sealant. Okay, sapphire oil. I see a lot of products that have that. It has no triglycerides and it's only 13 to 21% of monosaturated lipids. Cocoa butter. I don't see people talk about that, but it's not really good. Cocoa butter. You would think if it's as thick as like shea butter, that it will be just as good, but actually it's least out of the two. So cocoa butter has no triglycerides and it has 31% of saturated lipids. Yeah, you guys. Okay. Now, these last three oils are oils with little to no hair penetration. So these are phenomenal with shine. Phenomenal with shine. It doesn't penetrate. It literally stays on top. You put it on there, it's on the top. It's not going through, baby. It's not going through. You may think it's going through, but it's not actually going through. Unless, like I said earlier, you have a more looser type curl to your hair. Straight, wavy, spirally. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah. Rice bran oil. It has no triglycerides, but it has 40 to 50% monosaturated lipids. Mineral oil, which is the whole... I've heard so many people say that it's so bad for your hair. So bad. But this stuff aids in shine. If you're looking for a sealant, mineral oil is really good for it to be a sealant. Like, well, to seal things in or to give luster or to give shine, because it doesn't go past that first layer of hair, you guys. It just on and it evaporates, literally. This one will shock a lot of people. Oh, the last one have how many monosaturated lipids it had. I could not. It depends on what grade of mineral oil. So I could not find that. This last one, like I was saying, will shock a lot of people because I know a lot of people that use this oil. I even use this oil, but the jojoba oil that I have is a mixture with other oils also, like olive oil and all that stuff. So jojoba oil by itself, from the research that I've seen, you can look it up yourself. It aids in hair growth and everything else. But it says that it has little to no hair penetration for our type of hair. That's what it says. But that could be wrong too. You guys, if you use it and it moisturizes your hair, hey, it's you, boo. It moisturizes your hair. I'm not saying that it don't, you guys. Please do not burn me to a cross. I'm not saying it. But it is the least known oil that penetrates the hair, which is so scary because, like, I even use jojoba oil, not it by itself, but it plays as a wonderful sealant. Like, it aids to shine, you guys. It really aids to shine and growth. So yeah, it even has less than 1% of lipids in it, like less than 1%. So yeah. Now, this video is almost finished. If you want to talk about ways to use oils or anything else, I could do a video on that. If you have any questions, like I say, put them in the comment box below. I love you guys, and yeah.